Well, good morning, everyone, as we're bright and early. Thank you for joining us for the discussion on the Smart Hybrid Cloud Journey. I'm J.C. Caesar with NetApp, and NetApp is honored to be supporting partner of AFCEA's TechNet Cyber. The speaker is DISA J-9 Director Jeff Marshall, right over there, who will address how to achieve mission success across the many options and challenges in hybrid cloud computing. As the intelligent data infrastructure company, NetApp helps the warfighter discover all of its hybrid cloud assets regardless of vendor, determine the right mix of on-prem and cloud infrastructure, and work with cloud providers and partners providing the only anti-ransom guarantee for your data storage provider. Mr. Jeff Marshall is DISA's J-9 Director for Hosting and Compute. As J-9's Senior Executive, he drives industry best practices to unify hosting and compute platforms to increase options for the warfighter, which is so important these days with so many things that are going on in our national security. And having served in the Navy, understand firsthand what it's like to be on the front lines. Previously, Mr. Marshall was Virtual Stream's Cloud Platform Director and began his career serving as an Army soldier, HUA, for 12 years, to include serving in Desert Storm. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Jeff Marshall.
All right, good morning, everybody. Well, first of all, I really appreciate this many people being here today. It is bright and early, first day of the conference, so I can surely understand how people feel. Still, I'm going to be taking some drinks in my coffee throughout this as well. I'm Jeff Marshall. I'm with the DISA J-9, Hosting and Compute. Basically what we are in kind of layman's terms is we are the selling arm of hybrid cloud solutions to the DoD, to the various DAFAs, COCOMs, and combatant commands. What I'm going to talk about today is basically I'm going to break it down into kind of 4 segments. I'm going to qualify myself a little bit so we can understand why I feel like I can be up here to talk to you all. And then I'm going to talk about this thing that we're calling the Smart Cloud Journey within the organization. And then I'm going to tie that into General Stanton's 4 priorities that he just put out last month. And then finally, I'm going to talk about what I see as the future needs of what we need in order to best support the warfighter with hybrid cloud solutions. And this is the part that anyone who is within industry is going to want to listen into, because this is the part where I tell you all the things that I want for us to do for the warfighter, I would like for you all to do for us. All right. So as it was mentioned, I started my professional career in the Army. 12 years a soldier and a non-commissioned officer. And why is that important? Because that laid my foundational base for leadership. And throughout my time, I've taken that foundation and I've just kept building upon it and applying it into the IT service realm, which I started all on my own. And at about 12 years, I decided that it was time to get out and go try and work for Microsoft. That was a very lofty dream, by the way. If anyone's made it into Microsoft back in the 90s, you did well. So from there, I've done 20 years of pure commercial. Never even thought about the government after that for a while. I've worked at places like FICO. I've worked at Fannie Mae. And most recently, I worked at Dell at the business unit that they absorbed called VirtuStream. So VirtuStream was a global cloud hosting provider for Fortune 50 companies, international companies, railroads for the Italian government, all kinds of global presence. In that role, I really took on a lot of understanding and capability in what it really means to be a cloud hosting provider and what it means to provide solution sets to include on-premise solutions when the cloud just wasn't the right avenue for what was necessary. So at that time, I basically said, you know what, I am looking for something different. Industry is great. I feel like I had gotten what I needed out of it, and I wanted to take what I knew and the cutting edge things that we were doing in VirtuStream and in Dell and in industry, and I thought, let's see what I can do in the government. And this great opportunity landed in my lap because of Ms. Sharon Woods. And so, basically, I took that and I thought that I was going to be around as a vice director for a pretty long time. But then all of a sudden, Sharon decided that she was going to go work in a different directorate, and I got elevated up. It's kind of turned out to be a good thing, because now I'm able to take my outside experience, what I know we did that was not 5 years in lag to what is being done in the government, and I've been able to apply it over the last year to how we're looking at what we offer and as a hybrid cloud solution provider for DoD. So I also like to think that I'm here because of the leadership elevation that I've gotten out of this. As an SES now, this is a new plateau. This is a new magnitude of responsibility and creativity and leadership for me that I absolutely love. And so I'm able to combine what I know with what works and with leadership and with the cutting edge technologies. And we're able to apply it in such a way now that it is making sense for us, and we're now starting to get that message out. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to modernize the DoD's IT infrastructure related to cloud. And with that, I think I kind of take a quick step back and talk about my leadership philosophy, which will really help kind of set the tone for the rest of this. So first, I am customer-centric. I'm demand-driven. I will not go and put something out that there is no need for. If there's just a slight need, there's no need to put it out there. So what we really do is we learn what it is that our strategic partners need, and we determine what is the demand for it, and is it high enough, does it equate enough for us to go out and start doing something to prototype it, to then put it in production and work on it from that direction. There's a lot of things out there, got it. However, the warfighter doesn't need it all. They have very specific needs, and we're here to help with those needs. I question complacency and latency. And what I mean by that is, I do not like the term, it's always been done that way, therefore. No. We should always be reevaluating and looking at what we're trying to accomplish, and is there a new, better, more agile, more flexible, new technology way of approaching it in order to get the best efficiencies and effectiveness out of what we're trying to do. And so I apply that to our strategies. I also plan for the long game. I get it, in the government, in these levels of positions, you're not going to be in the seat for that long. I think 3 years is about an average. And so when I'm developing strategies, as I tell my senior leadership team, it's about something that is in place that will outlast me. And so I really want to make sure, and actually I'm going to try and find the right slide here. Are there slides? How do you get to the next slide? Right? Video, there should be no video. Oh, okay. There we go. See, I'm talking all over myself, and I don't even have my cute picture up. All right, there we go. So I plan for the long game. I'm going to look at a minimum of 5 years out. So when I think long-term strategy, I'm looking at what are we going to accomplish in about 5 years from a strategic level. And then I work backwards from that with my team on what are our mid-range goals, and then what do we do today and in the next year with metrics that help to align to that. And if I do it right, and I do it well, and I do it in an orderly fashion, then regardless of how long I am here, the strategies are still in place, they're still sound, and the team, whoever that team is, can still move forward with it, and whoever takes over can also move forward with it, knowing that we've put things into a good place. And then lastly, it's about applying technology critical thinking. It's about applying creativity, and it's about measuring and accepting a level of risk when looking at how technology can address the problem set that the warfighter has. Second to that, it's balancing it with business acumen. Don't just go after the new whiz-bang technology because it's there, because it looks cool, because it seems like it's going to be the greatest thing ever. Again, balance the business. Is it too expensive? Is it the right fit? Do you have the right resources and the education level and the training level in order to run it effectively and efficiently? And then it's about the demand, of course. Again, we should not be putting things out just because we can. Things should be put out because there's a demand signal for it. And then finally, and most importantly for me, it's hubris. You cannot be arrogant in this level of position. You cannot go out and think that your way is the best way. It literally takes a kingdom in order to develop the right idea and develop the right strategy, and then have everyone around you who is going to help execute it feel like they are part of that strategy in order to execute it well. That is what outlives you, and that requires you to be humble and to be very open-minded and accepting to other ideas, knowing that there are multiple ways to get to the end goal. So real quick, I'd just like to go over our J-9 long-range strategies. Again, from a perspective of the DoD warfighter, these will help to understand where we're looking to take what we do in order to help the warfighter. From an industry perspective, these will help you understand where we're trying to go and how you could fit into that model. So we have 5 of them, and I'm just going to walk through them real quick. I'm not going to talk about them much. They're pretty self-explanatory. The first one is we're going to drive the DoD hybrid cloud landscape with transformative product portfolio. We're going to empower a future-ready workforce with a high-performance hybrid cloud technology ecosystem. We're going to optimize financial stability and cost efficiencies through strategic IT financial management practices. And finally, we're going to cultivate a customer-centric center of excellence that prioritizes superior customer engagement. Those are pretty lofty, but I've got a great team surrounding me that's going to help me get us there and help the warfighter get what they need to meet their mission. So with that, let's talk about the smart cloud journey. So DoD guidance used to be a cloud-only mentality. One of the reasons why I came in is because I heard that and I thought, well, that didn't work 4 and 5 years ago in industry. I'm not sure why government thinks it's going to work here for them now. And so we luckily got to a point where we now say cloud first. We're looking for a cloud-first environment for the warfighter. The cloud provides, very native application sets, very native functionality, API-driven, automation, distributed architecture, virtualization, metering, on-demand self-service, elasticity, just to name a few. But these are important to know what we mean by cloud native, because it also means that not everyone in DoD, not all organizations are ready for cloud native. What we're able to do is we're able to help identify that with our strategic partners and help them understand that while they may think they're ready for it, they may want to get to that journey point, they're not necessarily ready for it. So we've developed this smart cloud, hybrid cloud journey engagement methodology for them. So what does this consist of? So first of all, we have defined hybrid cloud as not only private cloud and commercial cloud, but we also include on-premise classical data center, because we're still in the government, we still have a lot of latency, we still have a lot of legacy application sets that still are business essential, required, they drive the mission. And so what we want to do is if we include those into what we call the hybrid cloud, then we help all customers understand that it's still part of the journey. It may be their starting point. It may be the point where we focus on next for them to get to the next step in the journey. We're not sure. We work with them to figure that part out. So we use the data center for the old legacy applications. But then we also offer a private cloud, Stratus. And so what we kind of tout the private cloud for is for the monolithic applications. We tout it for sometimes we have special use cases. It may be classification level use cases. It may be data sovereignty use cases. But there's always going to be a use case in DoD where commercial cloud, just for whatever reason, is not the right fit. And it may just be that it's not the right fit yet. So we offer the private cloud. And then, of course, we offer commercial cloud on-ramp in order for cloud-native applications. So it's a journey because the DoD knows what their mission is. They know their goal to get to the cloud. They get it. They understand that. Where we find that they need help with is understanding, how do I actually do it? How do I get to a commercial cloud through the JWCC cloud contract in order to be optimized, in order to be resilient, in order to use these things called microservices? And so that's where we come in and we help with that. So the model, it provides the different paths in order to get to that. And so what we kind of coined within our kind of marketing strategy for this is we were helping provide the right solution at the right time for the right location. So the right solution, it could be a single type of platform. It could still be classic workload. It could be a multi-cloud solution between different JWCC contract vendors. It could also be a hybrid cloud solution, or it could be a COOP solution, a continuity of operation, between maybe our data center and their commercial cloud offering. We don't know yet until we talk and we understand the problem that they're trying to solve for. So the right workload platform is the right type that we're talking about. It's understanding the problem that they have, the platform that they have, the performance that they're trying to get, and the cost point that they can actually work with. And then it's the right location. It's the ability to overcome availability, resiliency, latency, and even denied instances, whether we're talking in CONUS in the United States or outside of the United States, OCONUS. I like these slides. All right, so how do we do this? Well, before I got here, we had stood up within the J-9 an office called the Hybrid Cloud Broker. And I thought, oh, that's an interesting concept. What is that? And come to find out, this is exactly what industry would do as a sales force, as a team of folks who can go out, understand what it is that we offer, and then start to understand what it is that a strategic partner, a customer, would need to do, what they're trying to solve for, and then they would go and offer up how to help, how to create the right solution for that, and then help them take it along. What I came along with, again from my industry experience, was a best practice way of going about that. And it's the problem-solution engagement model. We coined this the why before what. So we want to understand the problem. I don't need necessarily to come to you and tell you that I have JWCC, that I have Stratus, that I have on-premise data centers that are Core 3. Great, it's wonderful. You may be ready to hear that. But most often, especially in the government, you just know what your problem is. You know what your challenges are within your cloud journey, and you understand where you're trying to go to. That's all I need you to know. let our expertise, let our skills and our knowledge help you figure out how to get onto that cloud journey, where your entry point is, where your multiple entry points are, how to help you get from one point of the journey to the next point of the journey. So we do this by listening to those issues, listening to the challenges, figuring out with you what the objectives are and what your goals are. And then from this, we take that information back to our internal expert teams, and we translate that into a J-9 solution set. From there, we'll work with the strategic partners to build out that solution package, and we'll tailor it to their particular needs, what it is that COCOM, that DAFA, that combatant command is trying to accomplish. Then, and only then, are we going to start talking about what products we have, Stratus, JWCC, GCDS, all the things that we do offer as part of our hybrid cloud product portfolio. Then we start talking about how they fit into that journey for the person, for the organization, for the service. And then, of course, what's really important is that we work in tandem with the DISA field commands and field offices, as they are the customer advocate. They're the ones that are on the ground talking directly with customers along with us to help ensure that communication flows back and forth so that we're all working together, we're all working on the same problem set, and we're all working through the same solution set for them. So that's the hybrid cloud broker office. They're basically in 3 sections, and we're constantly working through how to get them going. It's actually overseen by our office chief, Brad Wright. So the first one, of course, is what in industry would be called the sales arm. In the DISA, we don't like using the word sales, but it is what it is, right? So we sell. We do it fairly well now. We figured out how to communicate with customers, how to reduce the stress, how to reduce their resistance, and actually go after what they're looking for. We also have a customer success team. This is the same concept as you all would have as a customer success team or customer success manager. It's the concept of build a relationship with your existing customers so that you're constantly in a feedback loop with them to understand what their needs are, what is working for them, what challenges they're still having, what is not working, what is their customer satisfaction with you. And then this team will take that in, translate that down into our J-9 organization, to the support teams, to the leadership, to the operations teams, and we will go and translate that into how can we do better for those customers, those strategic partners. And then the last part, which is near and dear to my heart, is marketing. It's just creative. It's where we come up with phrases like the right solution for the right location at the right time. It's where we come up with the why before what. It's the concept of people want things packaged and they want to hear things in a way that resonates with them. And that, whether we like it or not, is marketing. So we do our own marketing and we go after the things that we think are going to really resonate. Hack.mil, we're starting to transfer that into a new site, and we're starting to build it out into a site where it is more like a modern vendor site, if you will, that offers services, that offers solutions. In the future, we want to integrate AI chatbots into it. We want to integrate the ability for a strategic partner to come to the site and say, this is what my problem is, this is what my challenge is, and have the site actually help them through that, so that by the time that they actually need to talk to somebody, they already have a good idea, and we already have a good idea of what they're trying to achieve. And then we can just get to it and get them in and out the door faster in a more agile, flexible manner. All right. So we talked about the hybrid cloud broker office, and that is our engagement arm. That is who helps us work with the strategic partners to figure out what they're looking for and what they need, and then push them into the right solutions. If we have a product that meets it, great. If we don't, I'm okay with that too, because it's better that we help them with the right solution than something that we sell that isn't necessarily right for them. So now what we'll talk about, and I'm not going to steal General Stanton's thunder too much here, but we're going to talk about how we align in the J-9 with the hybrid cloud solutions and the smart cloud journey with the DISA priorities. So what do we mean by this? This one's fairly simple. General Stanton has 4 priorities for DISA now. I've taken these 4 priorities and I've translated them into how can we utilize these priorities in order to help our warfighter and our strategic partners succeed in their mission. It's readiness, it's campaigning, it's continuous modernization, it's establishing lethality. So what do we mean by readiness? Well, when it comes to the smart cloud journey, we're talking about providing expert guidance for cloud adoption at any of the level of the journey. It's about navigating the complexities with the strategic partner. And it's about allowing them to make informed decisions based on that information that we're providing. In other words, we're helping them to enhance their existing operations and be ready for their mission, whatever that mission is. It's also about optimizing the performance of their critical workloads. It's helping them to understand that to ensure peak performance of their critical missions, where does that workload need to go? What part of the journey is best suited for that workload? What type of environment is best made to help that workload perform at its peak? Again, it's all about systems operating effectively under pressure. And then it's also about tailoring the cloud for the mission needs. It's the why before what, truly it is. What is the problem? What are the challenges? What are your goals that you're trying to achieve? And then how can we work with our solution set and our knowledge in order to create the right cloud environment that meets those specific mission needs while maximizing that readiness. So then it's about campaigning. For this one, we're talking about how can we help create for a strategic partner an agile cloud infrastructure that is dynamic to the operations. This is important because it allows for the change of campaigning needs. It's about the adaptability, which is crucial for maintaining operational effectiveness. It's about cost-effective solutions for resource optimization. We've all seen in the news, we all understand what's going on, we all understand that the government is looking to be more effective and efficient, and part of that is cost-effectiveness. So what we're looking to do as we double down on that ourselves, it's looking at how can we tailor a solution with cloud resources that are efficient, that free up a mission partner's budget for other essential campaigning needs. And then it's about continuous modernization. This is the easy one for the J-9. We're talking about how do we create an evolutionary path to get every strategic partner from where they're at today to cloud native tomorrow, at whatever tomorrow is for them. Cloud native is the ultimate goal for now, right? With our current technology set, our current understanding, and our current ability to be flexible and agile. It's also about modernizing legacy systems in the meantime. So this is where we offer, and we're doing an OTA right now on something we're calling Fangorn, which is a mainframe platform. This is going to be our replacement platform, we hope, where we're going to make mainframe sexy. We're going to make it more like cloud. We're going to make it more manageable, and we're going to make it part of a complete management set, not something that stands alone that people think of as antiquated. And then finally, of course, it is about cutting edge. It's about moving us from we do things 5 years behind industry to let's get that closer to 2 years. Let's get it closer to 1 year. How do we do that? How do we become more agile, more flexible with our procurement, with our ability to get OTAs accomplished and figure out what we're trying to do? How do we get it out the door using acquisition in a more flexible manner? And then finally, it's about establishing lethality. And we do this through providing that secure cloud environment at all aisle levels. And it's about the protection and ensuring the critical data and the systems are always there, always available, in order to enhance the lethality of the strategic partner while we minimize the vulnerabilities. And then it's about the new things. It's about the data advantages. through cloud analytics. It's about being able to understand how to be lethal faster by analyzing the data quicker. And then, of course, it's about the lethality through resiliency and diversification, multi-cloud, hybrid cloud, COOP, all of the things that are necessary in order for a strategic partner to be able to do their mission anytime, anywhere, at any point. Oh, I had to see what slide I was on. All right. So those are how we are aligning to DISA J-9, or the DISA director's 4 priorities. So now what we're going to talk about is our locations. This one's pretty simple. This is our locations and our journey stepping stones. So again, the first part of this journey is our core Tier 3 data centers. These are our data centers that are in CONUS. They're also OCONUS. They're offered at all aisle levels and all demand signal types. What's important to know here is that we're updated, we're modern, and we're Tier 3, which is basically about the highest standard you're going to get in DoD from a data center for on-premise, as well as the other private cloud offerings and solutions that we offer. It's about the power and cooling. It's about our ability to host AI and AI workload. It's about our ability to host today high-performance compute. It's about our ability today to support TS-level SCIF capabilities so that workload for mission partners, regardless of where they're at and what they need, can be taken care of. It's also about providing data sovereignty when we're talking about OCONUS, because our data centers are on U.S. military base. So then, of course, it's about the global footprint. It's those global data center classification supports that we have. And then it's our ability to think outside the box and think about how do we provide continuity of operations to existing strategic partners. They may want to coop between one of our data centers and another, for instance. They may want to coop between a commercial cloud provider and our private cloud. They may want to coop between 2 commercial cloud providers. It's all about how do we provide that and how do we offer them the optionality in order for it to be done effectively. And it's about the edge compute capability that we have OCONUS. Everyone's talking edge now. We're able to support that. We're able to support that through our JOE, Joint Operational Edge computing nodes OCONUS. We're actually live, up and running with workload in the Indo-PACOM theater. We are building out and almost complete with building out the ability to support edge in Europe and in the Central Command theater. And then, of course, it's about big bang or incremental. What is it that a strategic partner needs? These days, it's leaning more towards incremental rather than big bang, because everyone has to watch their budgets, everyone has to watch where their money is going. And so we're able to offer that as optionality. Again, we have many ways, many creative thinking types within our organization that can think about how do we get you what you need with the priorities that you have and ensure that your data is there with the right solution in the right location at the right time. All right, this is my industry slide. Everybody ready for it? We ready? Yeah, we're ready. All right, so we all understand that, especially this year, that maybe we don't have quite so many DoD civilians and organizations and folks here. So I thought, well, what can I do to help industry understand how to help me? You all heard it. I'm a firm believer in the problem solution, the why before what. I also would like that same approach when anyone's talking with us as to how can industry help us. You're going to hear it a little bit later from General Stanton. Industry makes up a significant portion of what we offer. We cannot do it without industry. We are partners in this. So we have to understand how to work together and work closely in order to get things accomplished for the warfighter, of which I am only an agent to get done. So I'd call this one accelerating the modernization. Again, I want to get us from offering solutions that are roughly 5 years old to offering solutions that you just heard about in the last 2 years out in industry, and now we're doing it here in DoD for the warfighter. So we're talking about FinOps. How do we incorporate FinOps better into our solutions? How do we offer the ability for a strategic partner to understand where their money is going at any point on any of our platforms? It's about AI and ML, machine language, integration. We're having to do more with less these days. We're all hearing about it in the news. We're feeling it in DISA. We understand it in DoD. The only way to go about this is to increase our ability to use AI ML in order to create automation, in order to create agentic AI, in order to create generative AI, in order to help support those that are there, still in the fight, still in the need to do something with their data, in order to figure out what the next move is, what the vulnerability is, what the attack vector is. We can do this, and we can do it quicker with fewer people if we can get the right types and levels and cost of AI and ML. It's about ensuring zero trust as a foundational element of every offering that we have. Anything that we're looking at, it needs to talk to how it addresses zero trust, how it addresses it well at that. And then it's about consumption billing. The days of paying for things up front, high cost, capital expenditure, those need to be over. It is not a model that is sustainable. It is not a model that works in today's economy. We all know it from industry. It's now time to incorporate how to do rate-based billing, how to do consumption-based billing in the government. So for that, we need solutions that also address it, that, again, tie into the FinOps aspect of what we're trying to do. We talked about the automation. Automation should just be a part of every solution that we can offer. Not sure what the levels are, but how can we get better at that automation? Well, that's the next ones. Let's start looking at how can industry help us with low-code, no-code enhancements to what we're offering. How do we get from having to need a battalion of developers developing out a solution to developing out low-code, no-code solutions that an end user with a general sense of Python and a good business mindset on his head can think about what their problem is and then figure out how to quickly code the solution for that. And then, of course, it's about the best integration of multi-cloud and hybrid cloud migrations. This is a big one. In an ideal world, a strategic partner should not care where their workload is at. What they should care about is that workload where I need it to be at? Is it performing at top performance? Is it able to be resilient? Is it able to withstand any kind of outage in any other location that I am at without any pause in my mission? For that, we've got to get better ideas, better concepts, better standardization around how do we migrate those workloads from one platform to another, from one hybrid cloud to another, even from one on-premise environment to COOP to another at the highest levels, at the fastest speeds, with the best agility. And then it's about the processes for us to excel at this. We're looking for optionality that give us better return on investment and better total cost of ownership for a strategic partner. Now, these may be phrases that are uncommon to a lieutenant colonel or colonel who's been out in the field overseas for the last 10 years. But even General Stanton, late last week, said something that was interesting to me. He said, I'm a businessman now. As a director of DISA, he actually is a businessman now. He's just like me now. So he has to understand things like ROI and TCO. We have to, as the hybrid cloud broker, explain what that means to a strategic partner, to help them understand how the offering that we're putting together for them is going to give them the best total cost of ownership, what that actually means, how pieces that they've never thought about before are now part of the equation and part of the FinOps model that they need to understand. We're going to do things with workforce skills improvements, upskilling. In order for us to keep up with advances, in order for government employees to be able to do more with less, we have to be right there in the fight with understanding the technologies, understanding how to do the mission, and understanding how to just manage what we're in charge of. So we're looking for that acceleration to that. And then, of course, data-driven decisions. Everything is related to data. We have to make data the center of what we do. We should no longer think of ourselves as IT organizations. We think of ourselves as data commodity organizations. Data is king. How do we make the technology and the processes around it that we do focus on the data as the center, so that that commander in the field, so that general in the COCOM can make a quick decision at the right time when they need it. That again leads into the trending and decisions. How do you know when you need another instantiation of a cloud environment if you don't have good trending data? How do you know when you're ready for the next evolution of your smart cloud hybrid journey if you don't have some training data that helps you understand that you're ready for it? So we need the tools, we need the processes around those tools that can help us with that can help us, help the warfighter make those decisions. And then it's about the lean projects, the sustainments. Bloating is gone. None of us can deal with that anymore. We talk about DevSecOps, we talk about infrastructure SecOps, we talk about pipelines, we talk about end-to-end processes with continuous ATO. All of that is the future, all of it is now, and we have to all start working towards it, whether we're in industry working with us or whether it's us working with our strategic partners. And then it's about the management. It's about leadership understanding this new role of what we do as a hybrid cloud organization, what we do as a conduit between industry and the warfighter, and how we ride the wave in order to ensure success for the warfighter. And with that, I thank you very much for your time, and I'll take some questions. I think we got a mic up here. And if I cannot answer it, I have a very good PAO statement.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. This is a great brief. I just wondered about your organizational level of your customers. You mentioned combatant commands. Are you entertaining kind of programs or project level customers as well?
Yes, absolutely. We work at all levels. We have all styles. I was just out in Europe talking with the UCOM folks at J6s at that level on how we can assist them at the big COCOM level. We work with combatant commands. We work through the DISA field offices and field commands in order to work at any organizational level, including down to the program level. We work quite frequently at the program level, the tactical level, to the point where I actually go out on what I call senior VIP engagements in order to ensure that we have the right level of parity in order to get the right level of message. So, you know, a COCOM commander or J6, they want to hear strategy rather than how do I put the two widgets together in order to create the whiz-bang. Anybody else? Oh, you guys are easy. All right. Well, I will, oh, I got another one.
Hi, Jeff. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you talk at a high level about how DOGE has affected DISA and DISA's programs? Thank you.
So DOGE's impact on DISA is, it's the same, I think, as with everyone. It's made us look at how to be more effective, how to be more efficient with the resources, the budgets, and the people that we have. And so I, honestly, coming from industry, coming from the cutthroatness of industry, sorry if you're in industry, I get it, and I appreciate it. It allows me to actually be in my element of being able to look at how do I do the things better, which is all that I've been looking for here. It's all that I'm looking for from industry as we talk through these things. How do I get the best performance? How do I get the best cost out of everything that we're doing? And how can I do more with less? And how can I use the catalyst of things like AI and ML and bots in order to prove the efficiencies that we know that we can do? got another question coming.
Jeff, thank you. Quick question. When you were talking about the need for multi-cloud, hybrid cloud migration strategies, what's your perspective on helping? Does the J9 help application partners in terms of moving from one ATO level to another? Do you have any guidance for folks that might have an on-prem solution that can be deployed in a higher level classification versus something that might be at an IL2, IL4?
So the short answer is maybe. It all depends. It's case by case. Obviously, we can help at the different levels. We can help with the RMF, risk management framework around that, and the ATO process. We kind of build that into what we do. I'd like to see us do better at it. I'd like to see us get to a point, and again, this is just vision only, get to the point where a strategic partner doesn't even have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about the classification or anything around that because we've got such good automation and AI that is irrefutable, if you will, that the data can move, the applications can move to that next level, and everyone understands that it's still safe, secure, and meets the right requirements.
Good morning. Eli Ill, DMA, Defense Media Activity. And so, can you speak on some of the mandates or directives that a lot of the DAFAs have received, because we are a DAFA, and kind of speak on some of the resistance and challenges you faced in transitioning to JWCC, because I've had some backlash. I have a cloud broker assigned to DMA, and so overcoming those cultural challenges is our biggest problem. Can you speak on that?
So I'm not too sure about, we might have to speak offline with our hybrid cloud broker office chief to get a better understanding of what you're looking for. To me, the challenges are basically understanding what the options are, understanding what it means to get from on-prem legacy type environments or classic workloads, what it means to get that into a virtual environment as a monolithic application, and what it means to truly be in a JWCC type environment, in a commercial cloud environment. I think often what happens is we hear we need to get to commercial cloud, we need to get to one of the four providers that we have, CSPs that we have under the JWCC contract, but no one really talks to, are you ready for that? Are your application sets ready for that? And I do happen to know that with DMA that they were not ready for that. But we would still love to work with you on what the right solution is around that, of course. And so that's where we're getting better at the hybrid cloud broker office. It's for them to get educated themselves, for them to understand so that they can hear what the problem is that you're trying to achieve. They can see what the challenges are that you have, and then offer up really a true right solution for you. And that goes for anybody for that matter. But we can definitely talk offline, and we can see what else we can do for you specifically.
Hey, Jeff, thanks for the brief. Given your strategy, you've been here for a little bit, with respect to JWCC, how would you like to see that evolve going forward into JWCC Next?
Oh, you're going to make me pull out some notes. It's already on its way. It's basically what we're looking for is the ability for every DoD organization to come through us. Again, you asked what I would like. To come through us in order to get what they need at the commercial cloud level. It's about the ability to meet them where they are and provide the right solutions, even within the commercial cloud space, that meets their needs. Oftentimes, they aren't really sure what their needs are, and other times they are, and they know exactly what they're looking for. And so we're getting better at that. And with the JWCC Next contract, I see us being even better at that, being more agile, being able to hear the demand of what they're looking for, and ensure that we can meet the demand within the contract and get it out to the mission partners, the strategic partners faster, and at the level that they're looking for. All right, folks. Again, I really appreciate you getting up early, cracking your coffee with me. It's been fun, and I will stand over here for a few minutes just in case. I know how that's going to go. Thank you, everybody.